Okay, I thought there was something a bit funny about the clips I took this morning inside the house. Apparently I've had the camera on beach setting. I normally have it on foliage setting. I had it on beach setting, so night scene beach setting rather than night scene foliage. So it'll be interesting to watch back the clips tonight to see what effect that makes. You never know, it might be an improvement. But as I was starting to say, you know, oh look at this little food resource, eh? If you don't think, oh, I've got some. Yeah, got to watch that. They're not as bad as inch ants, which are really like 2.25 inches in length, and a nasty, vicious sting with a double effect. The initial sting and then one later on, and I think I've got one in my boot, in my crock. So one in there. Yep. There we go. There's one in there, fellas. Okay. But yeah, as I was saying, it's a bit like that book, you know, How to Make Friends who Influence People. It's basically a book about sincerity. If you encapsulate it in one word, that's what you just have to be sincere. And I think that's what's really gone on with the GFC. They just weren't sincere. They were greedy, and they were lying about it, basically. You know. Had they been greedy and said they were greedy, maybe they would have got a respect because they would have been being sincere. But anyway, the first part of the book is about the chap trying all the different things and nothing really working until he got to the answer, sort of thing. Well, basically that's what I've done. I've spent the past 40 years, you know, first of all trying everything that everyone else has done, you know, experiments with vermiculite, finding out there's basically two forms of vermiculite: acid vermiculite, alkaline vermiculite, blah blah blah, perlite, and so on and so forth, and charcoal, and the astroloma's already in flower as well. Tough as old nails, that is, the astroloma asteroides, as far as I can remember. But you can see all this detritus. Yes, Australia is a messy country, but as I say, it's Australia. Get used to it. I said that to the chap that came round to help clear out the poison ivy, or the ivy, you know, because I'm allergic to ivy. As I said, I didn't know I knew I was allergic to figs, but didn't know I was allergic to poison ivy until late teens, early 20s. Got one in my blood. Got one. Ow! Oh! How is it that they both do it at the same time almost? How could they? Oh, there we go. Ow. Well, that's not too bad compared to an inch ant. Now there's one up my leg too, so ouch. Well, you know, an inch ant, you know, I'd be, as I said, inch ants, you know, they're 2.25 inches in size. They are profanity inducing ants, so you know. Oh, the sun's going in. So you've probably seen this in JPEGs I put up with the old 2-spegger years ago. You've probably never seen it in this sort of quality, but I mean, this is what you come for. You come for the look and the scenery of how the plants are growing. And see the two different types of moss there, you know, it looks like, yeah, it looks like there were plants there, but they've been dug out, because I know I've been here so many times before that I almost know where the plant, you know, the position of the plant, sort of thing. So they've been dug out, so unfortunately you won't be getting to see those ones. But it's just the scenery, you know. It's like chalk and cheese, you know, from going from the dry into the wet. And as I said, the second half of my childhood in WA, it was just walking across the quicksand and the mud and everything, and the plants. Everything has a certain look to it, you know, certain look at certain times of the year. Here we go, look at these ants, look at them. You can see them grow, you know, they're on the roam, fellas. It's almost a bit like that that film, The Naked Jungle. So yeah, we'll just navigate our way through without getting but they're everywhere, as you can see. Isn't that amazing? Come at the right time of the year, you get to see all these lovely sights. But I've basically crossed over the creek, and now usually the playfailies don't grow on this side of the creek. They can't cross the creek, whereas the whitticries do. So whether that's to be due to that temperature differential between the tubers, like the playfailies can only handle about 0 degrees and -1 in paraffin oil, whereas the whitticries can handle about -2 degrees in paraffin oil. Whether that's the trick, maybe that explains why there's no basically whitticry on the hay plain, and basically none around Canberra to any extent. They can't handle the cold. The tubers can't handle the cold. They liquefy or liquefact. You know, go to mush basically. But anyway, I might go up here and start a new clip from up here. But I just thought you like all this lovely scenery. I mean, if you like brown, one of my films I quite like is I call it the brown film. It's all about fertilising humus, and it has the bloke from Dune in it. What's his name? Who's also in Twin Peaks. If you ever get your chance to get your hands on that film, it's quite a fun and entertaining movie because it's all done in pastel browns. You know, every colour is almost a shade of brown to a certain extent. I think it could be either, is it a Coen Brothers film or the other, or is it a Wachowski brothers film? I can't remember which one it is. One of those brothers, you know, did all like The Man Who Wasn't Really There or something, or The Man Who Wasn't There, with Billy Bob Thornton, and who's now in the new Fargo movie. But don't you just like this? I mean, this is stuff I like. You know, just the look of this. You know something interesting is going to come out or happen on this, surely. You know, I don't know how low we go. What I've learned is you don't go all the way down to the ground. I've learned that. Okay, Ross, there's another lesson for you. Don't go all the way down to the ground. Just hold the camera at a slight angle to the ground. But yes. Anyway, probably time to start a new clip from here.